on, first and foremost thing is, you must create an ambience of sweetness of emotion. This is devotion. That is a sustained sweetness of emotion. Oh, whom shall I fall in love with here? Believe me, even a child knows it's not going to work. So, whom shall I fall in love with so that I'll have sweetness of emotion? Believe me, nobody is reliable. You must trust me, I have 3 lifetimes of experience. Everybody is fine for off and on. Is there somebody who'll pour you with sweetness of emotion every moment of your life? There is no such human being. Even those who are married to supposedly gods, even they went up and down. Look at Parvati, look at Sati, look at Satyabhama, look at Rukmini, all up and down, more up and down than your wives and husbands. At least many of your spouses are feeling elevated because you're spending a lot of time in the ashram. Relief is a big thing. So, people believe with love affair they're going to become full of love. With marriage they're going to concretize this sweetness. Or once you have children, it's sweetness and sweetness. That's not the way life works. It happened one day. A freeloading young man who was coming back from his nightly party at 8 a.m. in the morning, bumped into his father, who was a rich stockbroker who was rushing to his brokerage office. Then the son, who was in a gay mood, said, "Have a great day, Dad." The father looked at him and said, "Thank you, my son, but why are you telling me this?" The son said, "Well, Dad, if you have a great day, I will have a great day." So, there are schemes inside schemes, okay? Let's not go into that. But what devotion means is, you create a love affair that doesn't need outside assistance. Simply, you fall in love with something. You know, a lot of people have chosen to fall in love with God because steady. Men and women are not reliable, dogs die too soon. God, it's a very intelligent love affair because you can shape it whichever way you want, because a love affair is meaningful not because of what happens between two people, it's meaningful because of the sweetness that it fills you with. Now you're in love with a divine entity, if it is energetically active, it's even better because it's even responding, or you have become receptive to what is always on. But nothing can go wrong with the love affair because there is no expectation as to what the other should do. Once there is no expectation of what the other should do, this is a successful love affair. You agree with me? Love affair goes bad because somebody does not fulfill your expectations, isn't it? So you fall in love with an entity just for this. This is pure love, just for the love of it, not because of what you will get. So, always you're filled with sweetness. If the ambience of sweetness is there within you, the sadhana that you're doing will multiply in its fold. And the passage or the pathway becomes shorter, shorter and shorter, depending upon if you're joyful, if it is this long. If you're blissful, it'll become this long. If you're ecstatic, it'll become this much. The pathway becomes this long or this short because the ambience of ecstasy is on. I've had the misfortune of seeing so many people around me. I get them to a place where they're this close, but you leave them for one day, straight back. This is it's a misfortune of being a guru. Any number of times you bring people to so close, but when you get that close, you have to leave them there because it's after all, realization is yours, not somebody else's. You thought you brought them this close and anyway they will take the next step, but no. Because one of the biggest problems is the way you're educated, where there is no value for emotion, there's only value for the silly intellect that you carry, which creates any number of problems on a daily basis with just about everybody. You can't get along with anybody the moment you think you're reasonably intellectual, isn't it? And you cannot even get along with the source of creation because you're so intellectual, you're a world by yourself. You cannot live in the Creator's creation anymore, you're in your own creation. If you're in your own creation, this is not an achievement. Instead of being an existential being, you have become a psychological case. That's the transformation that's achieved. Is it a useless instrument? Not at all. It is useful, but it is supposed to make you realize this is not the way. It's good to multiply, add, divide, subtract. When I say add, divide, multiply, subtract, I'm talking about everything, about making money, getting married, multiplying into children, getting divorced, dying one day, all this. Everything is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, isn't it so? Yes or no? You don't like it. The arithmetic of it is just that. Either you do addition or subtraction or multiplication or division. With the physical world, that's all you can do. For this intellect is great. Without it, you will not succeed in these chores that you have to do. But you want to know not bits and pieces of creation, you want a taste of Creator in your mouth, then this will slit your tongue into many pieces and you can't taste anything. So those of you who are flickering like tube lights, one day bright and shining, another day boof, it's time. It's time to change the ambience. A silly intellect that's not worked for this many years, don't expect it's going to save you tomorrow. It will not. It's time. Devotion is a powerful thing. It takes intelligence to recognize that if you… between your intellect and your emotion, if you look at it, maybe you don't have ecstasy in you, maybe you have no love in you, maybe you have no compassion in you. When you get angry at least, when you're angry, check which is a bigger force within you right now, emotion or intellect. That you must put it Because what is strongest in you, you must use that. That is intelligence, isn't it? I want you to check it for yourself. Your intellect is a bigger force or your emotion is a bigger force. The only thing is, emotion can take different forms. It can take very sweet and wonderful forms, it can take absolutely nasty and horrendous forms. So first thing is to train it to take a sweet form, to take a beautiful form. Once it takes a beautiful form, your intellect will mean nothing to you, really. Everything that's worth knowing, you will know by embrace, not by conquest. Conquest is a wasteful effort. Because even if you conquer, you will still not achieve anything. If you conquer this world, what are you going to do? Are you going to spread yourself around the world? You'll still be in the same one place, isn't it? You can just look powerful in front of other people. Let's say you are Alexander the Great. You conquered half the world or the whole world. You are Alexander Great. You conquered the whole world. But let's say there are no people on the planet, nobody to clap their hands and say, you are great. You are sitting alone here, what will you do? I want you to imagine this. You got billions of dollars, but you're sitting alone here, what do? You need somebody to tell you you're great, you're great. You need idiots around you to tell you that you're fantastic, otherwise you'll feel horrible, isn't it? But if your emotions turn sweet, if you sit here alone, tears of ecstasy will come. In fact, you will want to be alone because it's too beautiful when you're alone. It's time to change the ambience because the sadhana that's been given to you in the form of the kriyas and the asanas, whatever, these are powerful forms. Your body and your energy is maturing, but your head is not maturing for a lot of you. This is a fact, I'm seeing every day. I see energy-wise, body-wise, things are maturing. This is not maturing, it's always in the way. It's time to do something about it.
Namaskaram, Sadguru. My father passed away last September. I am his elder son, I cremated him. So I took his Hastikalu and went to Trivedi Sangam, all these different places. Those time, all the people and Purohits, they were around us. Some people are saying he is already born. Some people are saying if you do the proper rituals, slowly his body will get formed. Some people are saying it's a creator's game. My question is, why would creator play a game where there is creation and there should be a mukti at the end? So all these cycles, with all this intelligence around us, is it really a creator's game? Because death is a very powerful experience I had last year. These questions came when my father died. I saw it in very close quarters. I touched his Hastikalu and I was doing the entire stuff. The same father whom I met, is in a different form, and some people are saying he's in the form of air right now. The primary question is, what is the end goal of this evolution, of all these lives and, coming up to the mukti? What is this end goal of evolution?
Why creation? These questions come to you only when something hits you hard. Otherwise, it doesn't come. If you're very blissed out, you will never ask why creation, isn't it? Something pokes you, then you will ask why. Death is not new. Your father is not the first person to die. With all due respect to him and whatever emotions you hold for him, he's not the first one to die, right? Somebody died in your house also? Yes or no? Somebody died in your house also? Everybody has lost somebody, isn't it? Yes or no? It once happened. A rich man built a house, big house. It's been a tradition in this country, when you build a new house, you want to welcome some sage or saint or yogi to your house. So he invited a yogi to his house. He came. They treated him well, welcomed him, worshipped him, fed him well. And then they said, please give us a blessing. The yogi said, first let your father die, after you die, and then your children die. That man said, what? We brought you into our house, we treated you like a king, fed you well, and here you say, first my father should die, then I should die, then my child should die. What is this rubbish? The yogi was surprised. What did I say wrong? Is it not good? First if your father dies, then you die, then your children die. That means life is in the natural cycle. Before your father dies, if you die, that is not good. Before you die, if your children die, that is not at all good. First your father must die, then you must die, then your children must die. Is this not natural cycle of life? No. Shall I bless you? Yes. This is how life should happen, isn't it? Now, mortality, this is what we started off with. First your father must die, then the elder son. No, it's not yet time, we bless you with a long life, but next is you. Your younger brother should not die before you. First you must die, then younger one, and then the younger one. This is how it must go, isn't it? It's a good life. Now, suddenly you're shocked out of life because somebody, one person dear to you died. It's good. I'm not saying your father died, that's good. I'm saying you're struck with mortality, that's good. And it's important. It must strike you as young as possible. It's very important. You must take all your children for a tour of cremation ground once a year. It doesn't matter who is being cremated, you must take them there and sit there with the same emotion. If somebody very dear to you died, just like that, you must experience it, children must know it. If your children are conscious of mortal nature of their existence, they will live sensibly. If you know you're mortal, if you know as you sit here your time is tick, 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 tick going away, you will have no time to do anything stupid. Yes or no? You will have no time to do anything that you don't really care for. Right now, all kinds of idiotic things are done. So many unnecessary words, so many unnecessary actions created simply because you think you're immortal. If you knew experientially you're mortal, as you're sitting here, it's slipping away, your life, isn't it? Yes or no? As you sit here, it's slipping away. If you are conscious of this, do you have time to quarrel with somebody, do some other rubbish? No, you would do only what really matters to you. If every human being did what only really matters to them, this world would be a completely different place. So coming to terms with mortality is most important. At the earliest age, if you come to terms with mortality, it's best because you'll organize your life sensibly. I spent a few years, almost every day, in the cremation ground because I was so intrigued. Everybody like, you're hearing, your father is in the air, your father in the sky, your father somewhere else. Well, my father was still there with me, but I wanted to know what will happen anyway. So, people told me wherever they said, this is a haunted house, I went and slept there that night. That night, the damn ghost doesn't come. Some man says every Amavasya he goes and feeds blood to the ghosts, and he shows me his finger is all worn out by cutting it every day, feeding blood to the ghost. I go with him Amavasya to Amavasya, that Amavasya it doesn't turn up. I went everywhere looking, all kinds of things. There is another man with black robes, I go into his he takes me to his big kind of a shrine kind of place, where so many bottles all corked up and kept tied with black cloth. He says he's trapped all ghosts in these glass bottles. I befriend him wanting to steal one bottle from him. But he was very guarded, he didn't let me take away one bottle. But not one ghost popped out of any bottle, Then I went and sat in cremation grounds hoping, here it must be, I want to look at the freshly dead, so that maybe when they burn it, it'll come out where it is, I want to see. So they said, if you put a nail in the tree, at 12 o'clock in the night, it will come. I went and nailed the damn tree every day. Nothing came. These people are saying all this, if you put a nail in the tree at 12 in the night, exactly, I'm looking at the watch and exactly 12 o'clock, turn, nothing came. Then I sit there and people bring bodies and they all, they all cry and yell and everything, but nobody stays there long enough. They'll stay there for at the most half an hour, 1 hour, it starts burning, they're done, they have other things to do, So they go away. And unless you have put this pyre wide enough, firewood is expensive, so they put it narrow. Once it burns up, it'll happen that first the neck gets burnt very easily. So the head will roll off, it'll go, burning head. So I always go pick it up with a stick and put it back, because if the ghost is in the head, I want it to get out. Nothing came. Only when I turned inward, I found the ghost within. Wherever else I looked, I didn't find. But this whole exercise of being in the cremation grounds, almost on a daily basis, got me one thing 100% clear: mortality. Very clear. No doubts about myself. I know this is time-bound. Once you know it's time-bound, you'll organize your life efficiently. You think you're here forever, so there is so much time to do so many things which are absolutely unnecessary for you. So, about where did they go? I've been saying this, some things you know best only by experience. When you go for sure, you'll know. Or if you turn inward, now you will know. You understand? Whatever else we say will be ridiculous, because that which is not yet in your experience, if you speak about it, it will be just a wild story, isn't it? You may believe it, you may not believe. See, they told you 3 versions. Now you don't know which to believe. Maybe one of them is right, maybe all of them is right. Even if I vouch for one of them, what will happen? You still don't know, isn't it? Don't go like this. This is not the way to know it. If you want, all you're asking is, what is the nature of my life? If you want to know what is the nature of my life, are you alive? I'm just checking. Yes. Hello, you still alive? Okay. You're moving, it should be. So this is the time to know what is the nature of my life, isn't it? Yes or no? This is the time to know. If you ask me, I will tell you something. I may tell you what is true, but as far as you are concerned, it's just another story, isn't it? Don't waste your life on that. If you want to know really, right now this is a casual inquisitiveness because your father's death has hit you in the face. You will see in 2 months' time you will be fine, you will have no such urges to know. So that's why I said every day you must go and sit in the cremation ground. Then an urge will come, you can't live without knowing. If such an urge comes, that you cannot live without knowing this, then if I give you a method, it'll work wonderfully well. Now, the urge is just curiosity, simply. You want to know, just like that on the side. This is not a side business, your life is not side business, it's a main business, isn't it? Yes or no?